Hi, everybody. It's Michael and Julie here at Solas Healing Cabin in Arklow, and we're talking to Brian Timlin, who has a wonderful program called Quantum Learning Program. He's also an author of a wonderful book called Lightworker number 17, which we will put all the links in the chat afterwards so that people can connect with Brian and have a look at who he is and possibly order his book, which I would highly recommend.
Yes, I believe we both recommended it. Yes, and we thought it was fantastic. And it's very topical again now, Brian, because I have an image here with a child holding an adult's hand, and it's about integrity. But with the Sound of Freedom movie being released, I read yesterday over 3 million sales. Your book is going to be fantastic because that's about saving the children too. So, Brian, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us, perhaps whichever suits, a little bit about your learning program first, and then maybe a little bit about your book?
Well, I'm from Galway in Ireland, and The Sound of Freedom is, I haven't seen it myself yet, but I've heard it's very intense and will probably wake up a lot of people, and we need more movies like that. My novel, Lightworker number 17, is a great awakening novel, so it's based on everything that's going on, very topical and in story format, like the Sound of Freedom is. And it's getting 5-star reviews on Amazon from only 5 stars so far, which is brilliant.
That's
so
excellent. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we actually watched the Sound of Freedom on the night it was released. We got a link from the States to watch it. It's quite harrowing. Now, what I liked about it was they didn't get into too much of the depth of what goes on, because they wanted it to a wider audience. So it's rated as 13s in the States. Whereas if they mention certain things we would know about, which we can't mention here, it would have made it R-rated, which would have reduced the amount of interest in it. And it's been shown at 25,000 movie theaters in the States.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Part 2 in August, so it's definitely coming here, and it's already on Rumble and BitChute, so people are watching it. And just like your book, Brian, there's a great awakening happening now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, there's more and more people waking up to how the world really operates, and these things are coming out from that consciousness, these movies and novels, and I'm happy to be at the forefront of it, because there isn't that many of them now. So so if anybody wants to buy the book, it's all appreciated, and it will help everybody. People that are awake will find it entertaining, and other people will get a lot of questions answered by reading the book, because there's an awful lot of people asking questions now about everything.
Yeah,
cool.
And my other program is the Quantum Learning Program, which you mentioned earlier, which is based on the education system. I believe that there's a lot of problems with it. I experienced that myself when I was in secondary school, that a lot of kids were switching off, including myself. And it's because it's pouring information to people like they're a blank slate, rather than developing the person's perceptions on subjects and their perceptions in general, and trusting their own perceptions through self-expression. So it's switching around the model. If people are self-expressing, they're so they start to get passionate about the subject, they start to get interested, they're connecting it to things that they're really interested in. So even the most mundane thing, they can start to connect with it and connect to things they're actually interested in. And that's the basis of the model of it, and it's getting extraordinary results with all the people that go through it, including my daughter, Hannah, who was smart, but she didn't think she was, and now she's finding out that she's able to get straight A's, and she was in remedial class three times a week a few years ago. So when I met her, I started to slowly bring that in, because she's still young, but and I'm bringing more and more of it in. She's going into secondary school now, so she'll continue her progress, I'm sure.
Oh, that's a great success story, Brian. And having been in the teaching arena for over 30 years too, it sounds impressive what this new quantum program is introducing. So thank you so much, Brian. We will put the links in, because I'd say there will be a lot of interest. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I have to say, having read through your program, the intelligences, the 8 intelligences, and all the other stuff that you presented, it makes so much sense, because of what's going on at the moment is almost like indoctrination or propaganda, whereas it gives the opportunity for the individual to self-express and self-develop, which is what education should be about,
Well, that's where it's starting, the problems that we've seen in the world in the last, going back a long time. But it's started with the education system, where people are becoming, it's all about compliance and pouring information in, whether it's correct or not, and then regurgitating that and going into the system. And there's a famous quote, they want people to be smart enough to operate the machines, but not to question why.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, good.
some people say Rothschild said that, some people say Einstein said it. I'm not sure who said it, but yeah.
Well, maybe Einstein was a Rothschild in disguise.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been. Yeah.
Could have been. Okay.
Yeah.
But definitely the tide is turning. And speaking of tides, Brian, we got the chance when we were down in Galway to bring our Earth Tide machine, and you tried it out because it's our 1-year anniversary now of having the machine here in Solas. Would you like to tell people about your experience before we finish up, please?
Yeah. So I had a session with you down in Galway. You brought it down, and I was amazed at how relaxed I was after the session, and the amount of stuff that came out into the water as well, which people don't want to hear about that, but yeah, it's very powerful for taking the gunk out of your system. And the 2 rods as well put an electric current through your body, which no virus or bacteria can withstand. So and I on the back of that, I felt so good after it that I went and got one myself, a second-hand one. And I've been using it, and it's fantastic. It can only be good, because you can see what's coming out and everything. And yeah, I would recommend it to anybody.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah. We use it regularly, and with our family too. It's fantastic. There's so many new technologies coming out now, which is all about improving people's health and well-being. So thank you so much, Brian. Do you have any parting comments before we close up? Because it's just a short inspirational burst for people. That's our plan. Yeah,
just that things are definitely moving in the right direction, and all these new innovations and therapies are really speeding up, and it's really helping the world. It's really helping individuals. And Michael and Julie's cabin is one of those wonderful healing centers that are coming about. And they're both very experienced, very good at what they do, and you'll only have a brilliant experience if you go to them for any issue. They'll work out what you need to do. And my links are below for the quantum learning program and the novel. Sign up for those guys. You won't be disappointed. You'll get only great benefits from both those.
That's great, Brian. Well, listen, thanks very much for giving us your time, and we shall talk to you shortly.
We'll see you soon, please, God.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Bye-bye.
Bye.